Okay, to write the linear equation, it gives us the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. B represents our y-intercept, so we just plug in the slope, -4/5, and the y-intercept, plus 1. And that's it. So for this one over here, our slope is 0. Remember, anytime we have 0 slope, or a slope of 0, that means we have a horizontal line, and the equation is y equals something. Look at your y-intercept to see what it equals. And that's it. Okay, and remember, anytime we have no slope or undefined, that means we have a vertical line. And it means our equation is always x equals. This time you have the x-intercept. You look at it to see what x equals, and it equals 1. Okay, we have slope and y-intercept again. Y equals mx plus b. So y equals, m is our slope, -5/4x. B is 0. However, I'm not going to put plus 0 because adding 0 doesn't change anything. So that would be your answer. Now when you have a point and a slope, you use what's called point-slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. Our ultimate goal is still to get it into slope-intercept form. But this is your x1, this is your y1. So y minus -2 equals -7/8 x minus 5. So y plus 2 equals -7/8 x plus 35/8. Then we need to subtract 2/1 since that's a fraction. Now to add these two fractions, I'll come down here and work on this. You have 35/8 minus, instead of 2/1, we could say 16/8 so that we have common denominators. 1 times 8 is 8, so 2 times 8 is 16. And then 35 minus 16 would be 19/8. So plus 19/8. And that would be your answer. Okay, for this one, we're going to do the same thing. Plug it in the slope-intercept formula. Point-slope, because we have a point in the slope. Equals m x minus x1. This is x1, this is y1. So y minus 3 equals -5/4 x minus -1, which we can go back and change to plus. So y minus 3 equals -5/4 x minus 5/4. We add 3, or 3/1. So y equals -5/4 x. Let's get our common denominators here. -5/4 plus, and that would be 12/4. And that equals 7/4. Okay, remember, anytime it's no slope, it is a vertical line and an x equals. Now look at your point to see what x equals. It would be -2. X equals -2 is your answer. And a slope of 0 is always a horizontal line, and it's always y equals something. Look at your point to see what y equals. Okay, with this one now we have 2 points. So we're going to start by finding the slope. Remember that would be y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So in this case your y's would be 5 minus negative 4, and the x's would be 2 minus 2. So you get 9 over 0, which is undefined, or no slope. So again, we have a vertical line. We have an x equals a number. Well, if you look at these points, on both of them, x is 2. So that could be your clue that x equals 2, right there. Okay, and for this next example, same thing, we want to do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So the y's are 2, and the x's are negative 5 and negative 4, which becomes plus. So you get 0 over negative 1, which is 0. So that means it's a horizontal line, and it's a y equals. Look at both of these points, and you can see y equals 2. Okay, again, let's start by finding the slope. y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So your y's are 2 minus 1, and your x's 0 minus negative 5, which becomes plus. That becomes 1 over 5. Now you have your slope. Pick one of your points. I'm going to use the first one, but it doesn't matter which one you use. So if we use that one, we have y minus 2 equals 1/5 times x minus 0. So y minus 2 equals 1/5 x minus 0, which I'm not going to worry about putting. Then we'll add 2 to each side. So y equals 1/5 x plus 2. Okay, again with this next example, find the slope. You do negative 5 minus 3, subtract the y's, and then on the bottom, negative 1 minus negative 2 for the x's. So we get negative 8 over 1, which is just negative 8. Now pick a point. I'm just going to use the first one again. So y minus negative 5 equals negative 8 x minus negative 1. And just a reminder, that's your point slope formula. That becomes plus, that becomes plus. So y plus 5 equals negative 8x minus 8. We distribute, subtract 5 from each side. Y equals negative 8x minus 13. Okay, remember the slopes of parallel lines are equal. So we look at the line that it's parallel to, and we see what the slope is. In this case, it would be negative 8 over 5. So there's your slope, and there's a point. So we put it in point slope form. Y minus y1, which would be 5, equals m, negative 8 over 5, times x minus x1, which would be negative 5. You can change that to plus. So y minus 5, negative 8/5 times x is negative 8/5 x. Negative 8/5 times 5, the 5's cancel, minus 8. And we can add 5 to each side. So y equals negative 8 over 5x minus 3. Alright, for this example, again, parallel lines have the same slope. And the slope in this line is negative 5 over 3, so that's the slope for our line. And here's our point. It's y minus y1, which is negative 3, equals negative 5/3, x minus x1, which would be 5. So y plus 3 equals negative 5 over 3x plus 25 over 3. And we subtract 3, or 3 over 1. So y equals negative 5/3 x, and let's add these fractions. 25 over 3 minus 9 over 3, that would equal 16 over 3. Okay, if we have a line parallel to y equals 5, remember y equals is a horizontal line. Well, a parallel line would also have to be horizontal, which means it would also have to be a y equals. Look at the point it goes through to see what y equals. And that would be your answer. Over here, if it's parallel to an x equals, remember x equals is vertical, so the parallel line is also vertical and also needs to be an x equals. Look at your point to see what x equals. And that would be your equation. Okay, remember the slope of perpendicular lines would be the negative reciprocal of each other. So this slope is negative 1 over 4. So the line we want, we do the negative, so we change the sign. Since it's already negative, we do positive, and we flip it, so we change it to 4. And then we're going to use this point, this slope, to put it in slope, or point slope form. Okay, now that you have your slope and a point, put it in point slope formula. So y minus negative 5 equals 4x minus 5. So this becomes y plus 5 equals 4x minus 20. And we subtract 5, so y equals 4x minus 25. Okay, the slope in this line is 2 over 7. So the line that we're wanting to write for, we need to make it negative because we have to change the sign and flip it. So here's our slope, here's our point. So now we're putting it in point slope formula. Y minus 3 equals negative 7 over 2 x minus 5. So y minus 3 equals negative 7 over 2 x plus 35 over 2. Then we need to add 3 or add 3 over 1. So y equals negative 7 over 2x. Let's add these, get the common denominator. 35 over 2 plus 6 over 2 equals 41 over 2. So plus 41 over 2. Okay, well now we're perpendicular to x equals 0. Remember, x equals is a vertical line. So perpendicular to a vertical line would be a horizontal line, which has to be y equals. And y equals negative 5 in the point that we're given. And then in this one, we're perpendicular to a y equals 2, which y equals is horizontal. So perpendicular to that would be vertical, which is an x equals. Like at your point, x equals 2. So that would be your equation.